Hi everybody, welcome to your 4 to 5. Eric Chilton here with Chad Silver and Lauren Coleman. It is the weekend.
It's Friday,
Yep.
Our favorite day of the week.
And I think I'm feeling extra Friday because it's so nice out.
Yes, it is
That's great.
beautiful.
My goodness.
I spent some time on the golf course today, which you'll see a little later. Just beautiful outside.
It is great. I mean, tomorrow's going to be kind of an iffy day, but Mother's Day rebounds nicely, and we'll talk about it later.
Nice.
All right, cool. All right, we got to get to some things to talk about, right? Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. First up today, make room at the slot machine. We're finally getting a look inside the new temporary casino up in Danville. Caesars Virginia gave us a sneak peek today ahead of the grand opening on Monday. The casino will have poker tables, dozens of TVs, food and alcohol, and will be open 24/7.
I'm hopeful we see a lot of lines. People lined up before 10 a.m. and looking forward to welcoming them in the building. You know, everything right now has been speculation, but we're really looking forward to seeing the demand that this business will drive.
The temporary facility opened next to where they're building the permanent one. Casino and city leaders hope to open that location late next year.
Mark your engines. The countdown to the biggest weekend in racing is revving up. There are several activities for fans at North Wilkesboro Speedway, and the fun officially starts on Tuesday when the Fan Zone opens. However, the day you'll really want to plan for is Thursday. That is when the Speedway is having fireworks, music, and games. Doors open at 4 p.m. WFMY News 2 is getting you ready for all the excitement. We've spent a lot of time at the Speedway leading up to the historical moment. We're showcasing it all in a special airing next Thursday, May 18th at 5:15. You don't want to miss it.
New data shows catalytic converter thefts are skyrocketing. Police say the number of thefts has more than tripled from 2020 to 2022. A car's catalytic converter, as you might know, helps reduce harmful emissions, but it also contains valuable metals that criminals can sell. Now, reports show the Toyota Prius is targeted the most because it has more of the metals than standard gas vehicles. About 2 years ago, state lawmakers increased the punishment for people caught stealing the parts.
The workout brand Peloton is flagging one of its most popular products. The company recalled more than 2 million of its exercise bikes due to faulty seat posts. Peloton says 35 people have reported the seat post coming off. 13 of those people have injuries, including a fractured wrist. If you have one, you can call Peloton for a free repair.
Well, the temperatures, we've been talking about these 80s and they're lingering and will stay with us through the weekend. It looks like we do get back to upper 70s to right at 80, which is just about where we should be. We'll see that most of next week. In the meantime, 81 degrees in Greensboro right now. Burlington also at 81, High Point 82, Winston-Salem 80. These temperatures will be closed. This is usually about the time of the day that we'll record our high temperature, but that officially comes out at 5 o'clock, so stay tuned for that. But it'll be close to this, if not these actual readings. 78 in Mount Airy, but it would drop to 68 in the higher elevations, with Jefferson showing up with that temperature. It's 62 for that overnight low tonight. We look for partly cloudy skies. Now, clouds will build in. We do have a chance of an overnight shower. Maybe not a thunderstorm at that hour, but still we're looking at maybe even 3 a.m., but most of us will sleep through it. But tomorrow is the rainier day as we see high temperatures in the low 80s. And again, that 50% chance of scattered showers, 40 to 50, depending on where you live. Right now, we do have some in the highest elevation. So Allegheny, Ashwaubenon counties see a few showers there and some thunderstorms embedded. Not seeing any watches and warnings right now, but if you go out to a wider shot, you see a lot of instability. That all is heading our way. And most of that will be Saturday, we think, and more likely Saturday from early afternoon into the evening. And then Mother's Day actually looks like it's rebounding nicely here. The high pressure moves away, and we stay a little bit on the hot side as you head into Saturday, but otherwise not bad. Mother's Day, we're going to see those temperatures only in the lower 70s, probably the coolest day of the week, and or 80 rather, and then Monday we go to the low 70s. And look for next week, right around 80.
Studies show more students are reporting mental health issues stemming from the 2020 pandemic. A Triad man is on a mission to help young people navigate their mental health, one putt at a time.
Play the ball where it lies. It's one of the greatest lessons Robert Jones Black says he learned from his great-grandfather, Bobby Jones. Jones was an American golfer known for co-founding the Masters tournament.
The game of golf is like the game of life. You get bad breaks from good shots, you get good breaks from bad shots, but you have to play the ball where it lies.
Black is now using this famous quote to help address the nation's youth mental health crisis. He recently founded the Generation Next Project, a charity that teaches mental strength for life through the game of golf.
I was impacted directly through a business partner with this youth mental health crisis back during the pandemic. He unfortunately lost his 12-year-old son to suicide 3 days before his 13th birthday. And that really opened up my eyes to kind of explore what's really going on.
The program provides parents and players both the knowledge and the tools that focus on essential golf and life skills, including expectations, fight or flight, shame, and more.
So our program teaches them intentional thinking, how to really kind of slow down and think through a process, and then self-assessment. So once we show them on the golf course how we can fix that, we take them and say, now these exact mental and emotional responses that we're seeing on the golf course exist in real life.
For example, how conquering nervousness and anxiety caused by first tee jitters can also be used in their daily lives.
What does that in life? Class presentations, public speaking, testing, asking a girl out on a date. Anything like that creates that fight or flight mentality. It creates that shame, and you got to find a way to fight through that.
Improving resilience and self-esteem is what Black says it's all about.
We're going to get good breaks, we're going to get bad breaks, we're going to have good days and bad days, but you got to keep playing, and you got to play it as it is.
The Generation Next Project will have its first program at the Grand Over Resort next weekend. Young golfers and their parents will participate in a 2-day retreat. For details on how to register, as well as upcoming programs, just look for this story on our website. I think that this is such a great model, such a great organization. One of the things me and Mr. Black were talking about is the impacts of social media on this young generation and how we're constantly comparing ourselves to snapshot or glamour reels of other people. But it's important to focus on yourself and your own game, and that's something that you learn in golf as well that you can apply to your everyday life.
I've always thought that sports has a ton of lessons for you in life, you know, winning gracefully, losing gracefully, life lessons that you can take, and that's exactly what this organization is doing. They're taking those lessons that, and these kids obviously are kids that want to play golf, or they play golf on teams and that type of thing, but really what you get out of this is the life lesson, I think.
And I love the analogy that he uses. It's, you know, life is just like golf. You have to play the ball where it lies.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, it is so true. I mean, you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, but you got to keep pushing forward and do your best.
Absolutely, work with what you have. I'm going to be using that quote from my own life. I think that that's great. This is my first time actually hearing that quote myself. But also in this program, with working with the kids on the field, they're actually going to have a psychologist work with the students as well. Once they go inside, they're going to go into a room and talk about, you know, what were some of the situations you were put out on the course, and when do you find that come up in your everyday life? And they get to work with the parents as well, because parents need to be a part of that navigation of their mental health as well too. So they play a part in all this.
National golf associations and agencies and all that are interested in what they're doing, I've heard.
So he wants to make this be even bigger so they could do programs around the state, programs around the country, and make it a really big thing. All right, we'll be right back.
On Mother's Day, many families reflect on the bond they share with mom. In Guilford County, one mom and daughter relationship takes place on and off the clock.
The duo both landed jobs with Guilford County EMS, saving lives as a team. WFMY News 2's Sydney Moore spoke with them about the joy the job brings.
A special bond
She is my best friend.
between a mother and daughter
I always go to her for everything.
is something Beth and Lindsay Harris cherish.
It's more of an adult type, friend. Even though you're still the mom, it's just different.
And if a bond could get any tighter, it just did for the two, now that they work together within Guilford County EMS.
She moved out about a year ago, but just being here, I get to see her a little more often now that she's not living at home.
A mother-daughter duo. It's the first pair of its kind within the department. Beth is an EMT and her daughter Lindsay is a paramedic.
We usually call each other after every shift and talk about our day. And then
we don't really,
yeah.
and then we do our normal stuff outside of work.
While the two don't ride in the same ambulance every day, they do work the same shift, giving them an opportunity to respond to the same calls.
I was on an A truck, particularly one day with a DKA patient, and we had to have an ALS unit, and she and her partner were the ones that came out.
Working together and saving lives has been an opportunity of a lifetime for these two.
Whenever you see that you've made a difference in somebody else's life, that makes you want to keep coming to work and doing it again. And then when you work with such great people and your mom, that just makes it better.
And it's one they'll hold dear for the rest of their lives.
Love it. Beautiful. Lindsay isn't the only one who enjoys working with her mom. She says other EMTs and paramedics call her mom Mama Beth, saying she's like a mother figure to them too. This is so awesome, so unique. Not often you see a mother-daughter duo in a line of work like this, maybe in a family business, but for her mom to start a whole new career, I think, and be able to work with her daughter, that's pretty cool.
That's the key, because starting that late. And then also, that's a high-stress job.
Yes.
And you're going to be there with your mom and your daughter. It takes special people to do that.
I love that they referred to her as kind of the work mom, and what an important day to do that. There's one of our coworkers, Donna Pickett, has worked here for 40 years, and today is her last day. She's retiring, and she has definitely been the work mom for so many people, myself included, and we'll definitely miss her.
And that kind of energy, it's so useful in any career space, right? With Donna with us here at News 2, and I bet especially with them working in such a high-stress job, that kind of person comes with a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, and there's just a certain comfort that you get from your mother. So it's always nice when you can have that kind of figure on the job as well.
I remember one time you talk about like age differences in your parents and you. I was driving one time, got impatient, and the person in front of me, this is when I was like 20, and the person in front of me was older, and I blew the horn, and my dad said, "Stop." And I said, "Why?" He said, "That'll be you one day." And I'm close. So I'm like,
that is true.
That'll be
I got to
me.
do some self-reflection too, and I say, why is that person going so slow? Because like you said, we all have our time.
When you're in the grocery store and they pull out the checkbook, just take a deep breath and let it go. Let it go.
No, beautiful Mother's Day
Yes,
story.
it
Very
is.
fitting, for this
absolutely.
upcoming weekend.
We'll be
Great
right
story.
back. just getting those first hints of summer, aren't we, with temperatures in the upper 70s and lower 80s. Look at everybody pretty much on the same page here. Greensboro at 81, Winston-Salem 80, a string of 81s for Burlington, Asheboro, and Lexington, and Reidsville is at 82 degrees right now. A couple of showers could move in the overnight hours, but we don't expect it to be major. A lot of the rain that we're seeing now on the radar is back toward the mountain communities, and some of that, in fact, most of it, we think, won't make it over the mountains, not at least in the short term, but by tomorrow, that's when we see a rain chance. We'll drop down to about 62 for that overnight low tonight. You can see the rain. It's pretty heavy in the high elevations there from Boone over to Sparta. We're seeing those showers in Jefferson and West Jefferson getting rain as well. Again, some of that may make it over our area overnight, but for the most part, we should stay rain-free. Looking at watches and warnings right now, nothing to worry about. So I think we're in good shape for now. Really, we have to watch tomorrow because all this is heading in our direction, at least generally speaking. So your 7-day forecast shows 83 for your Saturday. That's a 40 to 50% chance of late-day showers and storms. 80 on Mother's Day, and rain chances drop almost out. We'll go with a 20%. Monday's the big cool down at 73, but rain is back in the outlook then at 40%. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we are right on the same page. Partly cloudy every day, all the highs around 79 to 80. That's only 2 or 3 degrees above our normal of 77 degrees. So a great week coming up next week.
All right, you ready for the craziest, wildest story that you have heard all week? A herd of cows helped police in Boone nab a suspect in a recent crime. Police say these cows led officers to the criminal's hideout. Investigators say the animals started mooing when officers searched a certain pasture looking for this guy. The noise tipped them off and they found the man accused of leading a police chase days prior.
What? How does that work? I don't get it.
This is the thing. If you do bad things, you're always going to get caught. And this is a
just
great
see all the
example.
cows going. He's over there.
I've never heard of that. You hear of like dogs sniffing and
Right.
things like that, but cows leading them to the suspect.
You know that guy is like,
He's like, you've got to be kidding me. The cows tipped me. I have heard of, there was a guy who broke into a home. The owners weren't there. This is when I lived in Florida. The owners weren't there, but when they walked in, they didn't know that the guy had come in the back door. He was in the house, but he was hiding behind a door, and the dog was looking like this and wagging his tail, and they're like, somebody's behind the door, and they ran back out and called police, and they got him. So the dog tipped it off by being excited that a visitor was there.
And that's why I say whenever you do bad things and commit crimes, there's always something.
There's something.
Something that's gonna tell. It doesn't even have to be a camera. It could be a cow.
I've watched too many true crime. You don't get away with it.
You don't. Even if
You
it's
just
years
don't.
later, they're gonna find it out.
this brings a whole new definition to the term cow tipping.
Oh, it does. That was a good one, Chad. Okay.
That's the best of the day. Best of, maybe the best of the month here.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. We're coming right back.
Cashing in with the Tooth Fairy is big business for children, so you can imagine the fear one girl had when she lost her tooth during lunch at Waffle House.
Yeah, but all hope was not lost. A team of dedicated employees at the South Carolina restaurant stepped up and made a direct call to the fairy herself.
But I was kind of like crying in the bathroom because I was like a little bit scared.
When first grader Millie James went to Waffle House and ordered a grilled cheese sandwich, she didn't expect to lose a tooth.
I was like eating and then the back of the tooth wasn't hanging on, so I went in the bathroom with Mom and then I pulled it straight out.
As soon as James came out of the bathroom, her server noticed and made sure everyone else did too.
Yeah, I remember how it feels to be her age and lose teeth and like you want to show everybody like, oh my gosh, you know, so I just wanted her to feel hyped up about it like I used to be.
Virginia Joyce, a high school senior, told her coworker Ricky, who put in a special call to the Tooth Fairy. James' mom Anna caught it all on video.
She didn't need it.
Just refreshing, honestly, because I mean, you just don't see that very often these days, and so they were just so nice, and they took time out of their day just to make a little 7-year-old's day, which was so great.
When she started smiling and stuff, it was just really amazing for us to be able to have them at for her, with help from the Tooth Fairy, of course, though.
The Tooth Fairy instructed employees to help by giving Millie some money. With hundreds of likes, comments, and shares on social media, Sumter residents are taking notice.
It took us totally by surprise. It wasn't something Ricky was doing for the attention. He was just being himself. So I think it really, that it went that viral that quick, it made him feel good, but nervous at the same time. Like, you know, you don't plan to be Facebook, you know. But it was just Ricky being Ricky. Like, at the end of the day, that's just his personality.
A personality that's left James determined to come back.
I felt so happy and I wanted to eat here again. Because if I had a wiggly tooth, I'll come straight here and eat.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Now this is a story that makes your week. How sweet
That's
is these
right.
employees at this Waffle House?
That's great.
Just so kind.
And I love it. She's like, well, you know, the next time I have a loose tooth, I'm
That's
coming
right.
back
Coming here.
She gets the money right away. She even have to sleep on it, right?
She's like, no, it's like a Venmo thing going on here.
Yeah,
I
maybe
like
I
this.
can get more if I lose it here.
Oh,
I love that
that's great.
kids always say wiggly tooth. When
Yeah.
I hear wiggle, not a loose tooth,
Yeah.
wiggly,
A wiggly tooth.
What is the going rate for a tooth these days with the Tooth Fairy?
We've done a couple stories on that. It's up there. It's like $5 or something. Because when I was a kid, it was $1.
Yeah, me too. No, my kids would
said
get like
$5.
3 or 5. I don't know if she judges it based on how big your teeth are, but that rate has varied 3 to 5.
Inflation probably
Inflation.
plays a role too. Yeah.
There was one time that my youngest Drew said she didn't come. And we looked under the pillow and we're like, what? And then when she made her bed up for school, it was wedged all the way down.
Oh,
it
no.
must have gotten knocked down or something. It was so funny.
So there's one story, I've shared it before. When I was in kindergarten, I was sleeping in my parents' room. My mom said, you gotta go to your bed. The Tooth Fairy only comes when kids sleep in their own bed. So when I woke up in the morning, I only had 75 cents. And my mom said, it must be because you didn't sleep in your bed the whole night.
Oh man,
So
the Tooth Fairy.
I started sleeping in my bed every night so I could make sure I got my full dollar.
Tooth Fairy docked your salary.
We had little wooden boxes that were made for the tooth.
Oh yes,
cute.
I
Put it
remember.
in
I love
there and
that.
put it under the pillow.
I remember trying
so
to
cool.
stay up at night so I could
Yes.
catch her, but I would always fall
Just
asleep.
like Santa
and
too,
miss
right?
her.
That's right, always. All right, we'll be back.
Yeah, computer, stupid. Mic check 1, 2, 3.
see.
Halftime is over, and we are back and ready to go on a Friday.
Ready to go. You know, on Friday, we always get this Friday
right,
music.
Going on.
And it gets us dancing.
This is kind of our 4 to 5 club music.
It is also funny, you know, during commercial breaks, Brad will sometimes switch between cameras so fast that it looks like we're like
it's like a music video.
Yes. Yeah.
I love it. All right, we got to talk about a forecast too, because tomorrow, that's the rainy, stormy day, but Mother's Day looks like it's going to be okay. So if you have plans, I'm sure a lot of you do with Mom, Sunday looks pretty good here. We will see an isolated chance of a shower overnight tonight, but really tomorrow is kind of the rainy, stormy day. Again, it's only a 40 to 50% chance, so could be worse. It's not a front moving through that's just going to cause rain all day long. It's not that, but an isolated shower anytime from early afternoon into the evening on Saturday. Tonight, though, partly cloudy, 62. We could get a sprinkle or a light shower in the wee hours of the morning, maybe 3 a.m., somewhere around that time. 83 for your high temperature tomorrow, so we'll stay in the lower 80s. You can see some of this kind of churning back to the west. I think a lot of that may not make it over the mountains, but for our mountain and foothill communities, just know that you could see a shower or an isolated storm with this moving through. It's just that sometimes when those systems come over the mountains, they tend to rain out if they're not strong enough on the other side of the mountains before it gets to us. But we can't rule that out. Now tomorrow, all of that starts to move through the area, and then that brings us, there it is right there, and that brings us a decent chance for your Saturday. We get a break between two systems really on Sunday, so perfect timing for Mother's Day. That's only a 20% chance for your Sunday and a high temperature of 80 degrees, but then another system moves through. That happens on Monday with a 40% chance of late day showers, and we'll probably see that high temperature dropping down to about 73 degrees. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's all the same. Upper 70s, close to 80 with partly cloudy skies each day, and those overnight lows are comfortable mostly in the 50s.
All right, let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup today. Police are investigating a deadly shooting in Burlington where a teenager died. Officers responded to Center Avenue around 9:30 last night. They say a fight between neighbors escalated into a shooting. A 17-year-old died and a 26-year-old was wounded. So far, no one's been arrested.
We have an update on the deadly kidnapping in Mexico that's tied to the Carolinas. 2 more suspects were arrested for abducting 4 Americans in March, 2 of whom were killed. So far, authorities have arrested 7 people connected to the incident. Investigators say the latest 2 arrests happened on Sunday during a drug raid. They believe the suspects belong to the cartel gunmen known as the Scorpions and the Cyclones. Prosecutors say it's the same group that mistakenly targeted 4 people traveling from South Carolina to Mexico for cosmetic surgery. One of the victims is Eric Williams. He and Latavia McGee were the only 2 that survived the attack. Williams is now recovering at his home in Winston-Salem.
If you've called customer service at the city of High Point, you might have noticed a problem. It's limited what it can do right now when it comes to accepting utility payments in person or over the phone. The city suggests using its website to make a payment until the department gets back to normal on Monday.
It's that time again. The Triad is bursting with graduates turning their tassels to the future. 2 North Carolina A&T ceremonies are happening this weekend that could impact traffic. The Greensboro Coliseum is hosting events tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. and another at 3 p.m. Wake Forest University students will graduate on Monday. Winston-Salem State University held their ceremonies today.
Major upgrades are happening at Reidsville High School. The Reidsville Rams will soon have upgraded concessions, stands, seats, and fields. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey got an update on the progress.
Yeah, Chad, Reidsville Community Stadium is getting a facelift thanks to their principal and 1 former Ram with a lot of pull at one of the largest corporations here in North Carolina.
This stadium is a big part of this community. A lot of people gather here on Friday nights and then for other sporting events as well.
Reidsville Community Stadium is one of the most well-known and historic places in all of Rockingham County.
Everybody congregates at Reidsville Senior High School for football on Friday night. So not only could we make impact for the school, but we also, doing this for the school, we could make impact in the community.
The home of the 22-time state football champions is getting some work done this offseason, all thanks to a grant from Lowe's Home Improvement.
I am excited. I am feeling so just honored that we have gotten this great partnership with Lowe's and that they are doing so much for our school.
Not only is Erica Blackwell the principal as well as a huge football fan, She's also the one who wrote the grant to make all of this happen.
When I got the email that I was one of the finalists, I was like, oh my goodness, really? And then when it said, congratulations, you have $300,000. I was just overjoyed. I was so humbled. I was grateful because of what it meant for Reidsville High School.
On Friday nights, Community Stadium is packed with thousands of football fans, and the work being done now will help accommodate those massive crowds under the lights.
So this will allow the visitors to be able to stay on their side so that we can have our facilities to ourselves, and it'll just make for a better climate. Everyone can get back to the seats and root on their team.
A few months back, it was announced that the Rams scored a brand new turf field for the 2023 season, and now this project is just the icing on the cake for a first-year head coach.
We're going to work as hard as we can to make sure the product on the field kind of matches what everybody sees in the stadium and on the field. So we're just excited to get started, and we're ready for the season.
For the man that put this project in motion, this isn't just about putting on a good face to represent the community. This is personal.
Reidsville is where everything all started for me. This is my roots. You know, my family's still here. The people that, you know, taught and actually guided me through my time here at Reidsville Senior High are also responsible for, you know, me being able to do what I'm doing today.
Not only are the Rams getting new facilities for fans, the bleachers are also going to get a touch-up as well. Plus, the players were awarded 2 massive pallets of Gatorade and water, which should last all through summer workouts into the season.
Cool.
And looking forward to seeing that. And I mean, I had asked you during your story, I said, so now they're like the powerhouse in the Triad. You're like, they might be the powerhouse in the state.
Yeah, and it's a debate and it's a rivalry, friendly rivalry between Reidsville and Shelby County down out near Charlotte. They both claim to be the football capital of North Carolina, but only one has 22 state championships, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's right.
Think about how this facelift is going to have an impact on the experience as a whole at the games. Not only are they a great team, they're going to have great stands and great amenities.
I mean, you could use that for lots of things, too. I mean, they've obviously for football, but there are other uses that I'm sure the city's thought about. So.
Yeah, and so they ended up getting a gator because they had a little extra money left over. They got a brand new gator from Lowe's as well. So when the guys are going out and setting up for whatever athletic events are taking place on the field, they'll be able to get around a little bit easier as well. So it's just a great day full of gifts for the Reidsville Rams.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this new coach can continue on that legacy. It's some big shoes to fill.
Oh, big shoes to fill. Not only are you following the legend who the field is named after, but it's also his dad. So it's just pressure on top of pressure, but I do believe Eric is the guy for the job. I don't really think there's a better guy for the job. So good luck.
I mean, he's learning from the best, right?
The best.
Yep. Well, we got to go from the high school ranks to the professional now.
Absolutely, Chad. We're going to stay on football because the 2023 schedule for the Carolina Panthers has been released. The Panthers, they'll open the season on the road at Atlanta September 10th. Then they'll host their home opener the following week against the Saints. That'll be a Monday night football game on September 18th, so get your popcorn ready for that one. Then later in the season, the Panthers have a primetime game against the Bears. They'll meet up with wide receiver DJ Moore. If you guys remember, he was traded, part of that trade for the #1 pick. That game will be November 9th. And another interesting game to note is Week 8 against the Texans, where we could see the #1 pick, the #2 pick, as well as the #3 pick in this year's draft going up against each other. Quarterbacks Bryce Young, who was #1, of course, and then CJ Stroud went #2. That's going down October 29th.
Boy, to have the first game, to be the first game of the season at home on a Monday night, that's wild.
Yeah, there's no better way to start at home than a Monday night primetime game against a division rival. So it should be a good one. We'll get to see what Bryce Young, hopefully, we'll get to see what Bryce Young has. And I'm sure he'll be able to live up to expectations.
And you know, that's the reason they got Monday night.
Absolutely.
For Bryce Young, guarantee you. That's it. That's incredible.
Lauren, football.
Lauren goes, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm just gonna let y'all chat.
Right. I am so excited though that there is this push, you know, and just a lot of team spirit right now, team pride after the draft, and just seeing what he can do. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
And I mean, the Panthers have just been on an up and up. I mean, after Matt Rule was fired, you know, attendance was super low those first 5 weeks, and then we get the new coach, we get some revamp. We get new energy. We finished the season strong, and now we got a #1 guy coming in, hopefully to be our future of the franchise. Things are on the up and up.
And I think the last 2 times we got big quarterbacks were Kerry Collins and Cam Newton.
There you
Both
go.
of those years they did well, and
it worked
out.
out.
Went to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
That's right. How about him?
Hey, way to go, Lauren.
Say, how about it?
That's right.
Well, Well, we're going to transition now. If you've got plans in downtown Greensboro, we've got a few road closures to put on your radar. The Triad Be Headstrong organization is holding the Elm Street Run Festival tomorrow. The city will close Elm Street from McGee past LeBauer Park and all the way to Pisgah Church from 6 a.m. until about noon.
We've got over 800 people now going to be participating as of this morning, which makes us right now the fourth largest run walk event in Greensboro, and this is only our second year doing this. So it's going to be a big day tomorrow.
Cone Health Dr. Zachary Vaslow specializes in brain tumors. He's also the race coordinator for this year's event. He says the race falls right in line with Brain Tumor Awareness Month and gives his patients, like 7-year brain cancer survivor Jessica Middletown, hope and healing.
I decided let's just shut down the whole city. And it's worth it. It's worth it for these patients. Like, that's why I say, you got something to complain about, you say it to them. So we go through the trouble for them because they deserve it.
For me, having gone through it, to help someone else keep up their positivity, stay focused on getting better. It's not always easy. However, it is a challenge. And so I like to tell people to, hey, take on the challenge be headstrong and do what the doctors say, and to try to do their best with staying positive.
Again, the run will close several streets near Elm Street starting tomorrow at 6 a.m. You'll also probably see runners on many side streets, especially in neighborhoods. Police will be directing traffic, but they want everyone to use extra care and caution when driving through the area. The race ends around noon. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
If you have an iPhone, maybe you've seen this alert showing how much time you spend on your phone.
I'm guilty. Mine does not look good.
I turned it off.
Here's a closer look at the data collected from one of our producers' phone. On average, she spends about 6 hours a day on the phone, totaling out to about 38 hours a week. That's much better than mine.
Our Verify team looks into the numbers and how it could impact your health.
We have seen the warnings. Too much screen time can lead to migraines. But is that true for every migraine sufferer? To get the facts, we went to Dr. Megan Donnelly, lead neurologist for Novant Health, Dr. Ahmad Estamalik, headache specialist for the Cleveland Clinic and the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic describes a migraine as a headache that is accompanied by severe throbbing pain or pulsing sensation in your head.
By definition, to be considered migraine, somebody has to have had at least 5 attacks in their life.
Those attacks can include nausea, vomiting, and extreme sensitivity to light and sound. But can too much screen time cause them?
Screen time alone is not going to cause a migraine in somebody who wasn't really supposed to have one anyway.
Dr. Donnelly says it can be a trigger for people who are sensitive to light and have experienced migraines in the past.
If there's somebody who already is predispositioned to having migraine, they run in the family, they've had them previously, screen time can play a role for some patients.
The time of day can also play a role in migraines that are triggered by screen time.
So if somebody is looking at the screen and it's during regular hours, they might do better. But if they're looking at the screen at all hours of the night, that can worsen the frequency of migraine as well.
Really minimize screen time, phone time, especially in the 1 to 2 hours before someone goes to sleep. I think that will make a tremendous difference.
Dr. Donnelly says other triggers like stress, weather, too much or too little sleep can also kick off a migraine. So getting a migraine from too much screen time really depends on the individual's triggers. With your Verify Fact Check, I'm Megan Bragg.
I am so grateful that I don't get
Yes,
migraines.
same.
Because everybody has someone in their life who is just, it's like debilitating.
Yeah, I worked with someone who had them so bad she would have to go home early from work. I mean, so I couldn't imagine having to deal with that on a constant basis.
My sister would get them once in a while, but when she did, she said it had to be pitch black, totally quietly, still nauseous, just the whole thing, and it's so painful, I've heard.
Even a regular headache hurts. Like a hunger headache, when it's just in one part of your head, is like douche, douche.
I hate
Douche,
that,
douche.
throbbing behind one eye.
Do you all use I use the thing called Night Shift on my phone where it takes the blue light out of it?
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh,
so like
how does that help you?
I like it because it like when it shifts, mine starts at 2 a.m. when it shifts, it's almost like a soothing moment for my eyes. It takes out the blue light, and so it really turns it like a kind of an ugly yellow.
Interesting.
Color.
So go into settings and do this?
Yes.
I did not know this.
And
was
I
an
schedule
option.
it, and they say that you should do that because it helps take the blue light out, which might help you stay up.
All right, Chad Silver,
Makes your brain
teaching us
activity.
something new today.
I
like
use that too, I love it. All right, we're coming right back. So far, for the most part, the Triad rain-free, only the mountain community seeing showers at this hour, but tomorrow could be a different story for us. We'll see partly cloudy skies tonight to mostly cloudy and 62. There's a chance you could get maybe a early morning, I'll say early morning, really it's overnight, 3 a.m., 5 a.m., that time period, a little light shower. But then Saturday we could have a late day pop-up storm at pretty much any time. I mean, these temperatures are up to 83 degrees for Saturday. That makes the atmosphere ripe for a thunderstorm. This is what we see right now, most of it back up, as we mentioned, from Allegheny, Ashe, and Watauga counties, not really making its way to the Triad just yet, but all of this instability back behind it, that'll be moving in on Saturday. So it'll be an unsettled start to the weekend, but Mother's Day looks really good. All of this kind of moving through at just the right time. By the way, if you are going to the beach for Mother's Day, it's just the opposite, because Saturday looks good for the beach, but by the time it gets there, unfortunately, it'll be a rainy Mother's Day on Sunday, and then clearing back out for the coast on Monday, and then we get the next system. So this next system will be that cold front on the left side of the screen here. All of that will push through on Monday, bringing us about a 40% chance. The difference, we could see thunderstorms on Saturday, but for Monday, it's probably just rain. So to recap, partly cloudy skies and 62 for tonight. Here's your 7-day forecast. 83 tomorrow, late day storms. Mother's Day, 20%, so looking good, and a high of 80. A cooler 73 Monday with some rain moving in. And next week, we become seasonal with our temperatures, right where they should be. Upper 70s, close to 80 for Tuesday through Friday. Overnight lows for the most part in the 50s. And we'll see sunny to partly cloudy skies most of next week.
Calling all graduates, it is your time to shine. We want to celebrate the grad in your life. Just show off your loved ones by sending us their name and school and include some information about them. Text the picture to 336-379-5775 and you just might see it right here on TV. No professional photos, please.
And excitement over graduation got us on the 4 to 5 team thinking about days in the classroom and the subjects we enjoyed and those we could do without. So I asked you on Facebook, what was your least favorite subject? Webster Mobley says anything science related, the formulas were confusing. Angela wrote, gym was my least favorite subject. I was not comfortable with taking my clothes off in front of all those people. Ida Roberts, math, when it got past addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, I was lost. Roan Norris, French, the teacher was rude. And you know, the teacher really can determine whether you like or dislike the class.
Right, and I am with Ida. Anything math related, forget about it. Do you know that I still have dreams where I was in college and I just skipped all of the math classes for the entire semester and failed.
This is crazy that you said this because I have had that dream at least 10 times in the last 10 years. I was just talking with some of my girlfriends. They have had the same exact dream and I said, what is my dream trying to tell me? Am I not prepared for something in life? The dream is that I never showed up for class for some course and I got zeros. Or I had to cram study for an exam the night before. I've had that dream.
Crazy.
Y'all need math therapy. That's what you need.
I mean, I graduated almost 20 years ago and I'm still having that
and you're
dream.
still it means that you're missing out on something in life.
I liked math until I got to calculus, and then I was lost after that.
You probably had to take a lot of math classes, though.
Yeah, we did. Well, I mean, I did all the algebra and all that stuff, and then there was one class, thank goodness I didn't have to take this, called differential equations, which you study in meteorology school. I didn't have to do that for the way that I did a weather course, but that is ridiculously hard.
I would need a definition on just the title of the class.
Right.
Chemistry was mine. Chemistry, I had a tough teacher. She had an interesting last name that was hard to pronounce, and someone said, can we just call you Miss B? She said, if you cannot say my full name, you will not pass this course.
Oh my goodness.
So you know how that course went.
Okay, well, good luck and congratulations to all the graduates. We can't wait to see what's in your next chapter. As we head to break, check out some of the grad picks that we have already received.
Maybe I'm not reading it right. Oh, okay.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Hi there. Police say Martha Milton traveling on Phillips Avenue this morning.
Hi, a major attraction opens in just days.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents, and today I want to talk about the beach music community. You know, we've talked about those concerts coming back and how everybody wanted this again, just outdoor music in general, even if you're not a beach music fan, it's just getting out and getting connected with the bands. Well, the beach music community is kind of a close-knit family, right? There are only so many bands that still play this music out and about, and I was in that community for 11 years with Eric and the Chill Tones and got to be pretty close with some of the bands. Well, the band that kicked off the first beach music concert, that Town Bank Beach Music Festival a couple weeks ago, was the Tams. Take a look. Little Red, the lead singer, is just an incredible entertainer. Always up in the stands, always having a great time with the crowd. And knowing him like I do in some of the other bands, whenever we see each other, it's like a reunion, right? Well, recently, after he played that gig, I saw him in North Myrtle Beach playing. And in typical Little Red fashion, what did he do? Called me up on the stage. There I was with the Tams, the great group that started in the 1960s, early 60s, with just a group of guys singing on a street corner, and a record executive heard them, and they had several top 10 hits in the 1960s, even a couple in the 70s and 80s. Little Red keeps that tradition going. Obviously, they're a lot better without me up there. But I have to tell you, from a beach music standpoint, and someone that grew up loving this music, to have him call me up and let me be a part of the Tams, even for only about 3 minutes, is something I'll never forget in my life. Beach music community, reunite. We've got more concerts this summer, and I hope to see you out there. But that's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
A major attraction opens in just days. We give you a sneak peek at the Caesars Casino, just a short drive from the Triad.
These chemicals just accumulate in the environment everywhere. They end up in our water supply, they end up in our food, and they end up in us.